good evening, welcome back to Bit by Bit Tech. If you are joining us for the first time, make sure to check our first video where we have built the foundational customer authentication for our supermarket billing process, okay? And we have used the Python and MySQL. This is the video. We will link it in the description, or you can also find it out from the card here, right? Okay. Today in the phase 2, we are diving deep into the billing function itself. This is where the magic happens. We will simulate scanning products, calculate prices, quantities, and keep a running total for the customer purchase. So once we find out that user is an existing user, or if it is a new user, we will register the user in our table or our database. So once that part has been done, we will start with our billing function, right? And in both of the cases, either it is an existing user or a new user, we will start the billing process after that. So once we call the billing function, then it will trigger this one. Before we get into the main loop of the billing process, we need a way to fetch the product and the product information from our database, just like we did with the customer details. We will have a product details retrieve function, which is this one, and this function will take a product ID, that is PID, and query our products table to get details like the product name, or most importantly for this phase, its price. For the billing, it is the most important one, right? If the product is not found, it will return none and let us know that it is an invalid ID because we are searching with the ID, right? So this is all about the product details retrieve function. Okay, so now let us break down to the heart of our billing process, that is the billing function. So we start by initializing the total payable with 0. This variable will keep a track of the customer's running bill. Then we enter an infinite while loop with the condition true. This loop will continue until the cashier explicitly tells us to stop, allowing them to add multiple items. Inside the loop, we prompt for a product ID. This is where the cashier scans or manually enter the item's ID. And in case this PID or the product ID is invalid, which is not there in our table, we will show them that no product details has been found from our database, because here we'll get none in that case, right? Then using product details retrieve function, we'll call this function and try to retrieve all the product details which is been stored in our database. So once we got the product details and get inside the if block, then we will try to find out what is the price which has been mentioned, that is the MRP that has been stored in our database. And what is this thing, what we are doing here? It is already been described in the previous videos if you have watched it, which is this one in the user login credential video, right? So here what we are doing in our database, if you have looked into it, these are the columns, and in the column index is start always with 0. So if it is 0, then it is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, and we need the price, so we are storing the second index column, which is the price. and we are fetching the data of all the products, and we'll print the price for the specific ID, right? Now the cashier will enter the quantity customer is buying here, and we immediately calculate the total price for that specific item. And how that has been calculated? That is the MRP multiplied by the quantity what the customer is buying, right? So now once we got the total price that the customer has to pay, then we will print immediately that this is the total price that the customer has to pay. But still, after that, this is the total price for one product, right? But if we are inside a loop, as we can see, and if user had already been brought any other products or has been taken any other products, then we have to calculate the total payable amount for the user. So for that, we are just updating the total payable, which has been initialized, or rather to be said as declared here as a local variable, so we can update it from here. So once we got the total price for a single product, we will update the total payable for the user with the summation function. That means we are just adding with the total payable and the total price for a single product, right? So till here, when our code flow will reach here, till here, we will have the total payable for all the products that user has been brought. Now after that, we will give the cashier if there are any other products are there. If yes, then he can press any other key in the keyboard. In case there is not, that means this is the last product that user has been brought and that has been calculated already here, then cashier can press S. So that's why we are giving the option here. Now if it is been pressed as S, then the loop will be breaked from here. It will check that if it is S, then the loop will break here. Otherwise, if it is not, then we will continue. And through this statement, we are just printing the total payable for the customer, right? And this is the else statement for the product details if in case no product details has been found. There are some changes made in the billing function to minimize the issue that we faced earlier. So the changes is in code flow. So let me demonstrate that first. So once we got into the billing function, it will start the billing and the total payable will start with 0. We'll have a count variable and that stop option variable, right? And if you can see that, we can see that all of them are started with either null or 0 because they will get updated sooner or later. So now we are getting into the loop. So once we get into the loop, we will not show this stop option if it is the first transaction, right? So that's why that is the count. So if it is greater than 0, that means we have already been into this loop one time. So at that time we will get the count variable as 1, and in that case we will show that if you want to stop or continue, right? In case the customer wants to continue, that means the cashier have multiple products. In that case, we will get inside the else block, and all the code that was there has been pasted inside the else block. So what will happen? There is nothing, no changes in the code logic. Only thing is count is getting incremented, that if we are inside the while loop and one transaction has been done, after that that count variable will get replaced, or better to be said, reassigned with updated values, right? So then the product ID, cashier will put the product ID and will get the product details, and if there are product details then this block will run, otherwise no product will be found. This message will be shown. Let me run the code. Enter phone number. It is an existing user, that's why it's giving us this option that hi Argo, welcome to Superstar Supermarket. Now we are just giving the product ID, and one thing we have changed, that we are just showing what is the product you are buying. So that's why we have given a placeholder and just putting the name that we are getting from the database, right? So that's why here it is showing that product gaming mouse has a price of 45.5. How many quantities? Let's suppose 1. So total payable is 45.5 because only 1, right? Now we will press any other key. Now the product ID 2, it's the ultra wide monitor. We'll buy 1. Now you see that the total price, it is the total price of the product, and total payable is 395.5, and that is the summation of 350 and 45.5. So now we'll press any other key. We'll buy another one, USB C-type hub, and it is the quantity, and we'll press any other key. We'll press the product ID. This is the noise cancelling headphones that has been bought 1. So total payable is 620.45, and this is the price of the product. So now we'll try to enter any other product ID which is not there in our database. So no product details has been found, and also it has been asking us to stop. It is giving us the option to stop correctly. So now the code flow run has been correct. So only one thing we have to do. We have to do that total payable has been updated yet. So we'll give a message that that will print that this will be in formatted string. So it here we will print that the customer, or better we can do another one thing, that while we are calling we can pass on the username, right? So here we can pass the username. This is the name, right? So here we can pass on the name. So customer name we can pass on. So here we can use that as like that. Your total, we can print a better message. Your total bill amount is this one, that is total payable, right? Because we will get the updated value after all the transaction has been done and all the calculation has been done. So let me rerun it and see if it is reflecting or not. Let me give the existing user 91349782173. So it is an existing user, and product ID, let's suppose 1, 2, not to stop, another one, something different, product 1. So this is, let's stop this and let's see. Yeah, it's giving us the message that total bill amount is this one. So yeah, it's running fine. This is the second part of the video. of the continuation of our series for the billing application development. So we will update and upload the third part tomorrow. Till then, stay hungry and stay curious. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.